Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this morning's webinar, an introduction to Business Central, presented by myself, Dan Booth, who is the lead pre-sales engagement consultant here at Enhance. Just a bit of a introduction before we start. We'll go through introduction, a quick agenda, and then we'll get into the what is Business Central. But a little bit about me. So my background's accountancy, qualified accountant. I don't know why I put a picture of myself on there when I'm sharing camera, but I joined Enhance about 10 years ago. We were using old legacy Great Plains system, Microsoft system. As systems accountant, my skill set was all around sort of reporting, analysing data, getting data, financial data, and all process data out of systems and putting it into formats that different stakeholders within the organisation could interpret for themselves. But I'm very, very process driven. I've worked with a number of sectors over my time: technology, construction, service delivery, things like that. So I do have a wide range of knowledge of different sectors and different sectors' requirements, which is really helping me in the role that I'm in now. Couple of bits of housekeeping. So during the session, all the lines will be set to mute to avoid any unnecessary noise interference. And at any point of the presentation, please feel free to type questions into the Q&A panel. If these can be answered, we will do so within the session. I know that Sue, who many of you have spoken to, is in the background, so Sue will be keeping an eye on that. Anything that's functional and relates to Business Central, more than likely due to time constraints, I will take them individually offline at the end of the session. We can come back to you via email. And just as a side thing, if anybody wants to contact us afterwards, full contact details will be provided on the final slide if you want to wait till the end of the presentation to ask any questions. Just a bit of a agenda. I promise it won't be death by PowerPoint, but I do think there are some key areas that we need to get across to you first of all before we go into a high level overview of the product. But a reminder of Enhance and what we do. Then we go into what is Business Central, how we've extended Business Central with our own development team, options around Business Central, the ERP system, around reporting. Let's face it, any system that you have, you put in so that you can get analytics out of the system, and the reporting bit is something that we do spend a lot of time on at Enhance, making sure organizations are getting the data and analytics out of the system that they need. We'll go into the system overview, a really quick couple of slides on implementation approach, how we do things so that we understand it's your data, so you have to be in control of your data. And then the summary slide and contact details at the end. This is a live demo, so I will apologise for any stumbling or me reading things differently. But I think one of the things we'd like to do first of all is just remind you what we do at Enhance. So it's only on a couple of the slides. We have it on a number of slides in every presentation that you like to see with us, but we are a Microsoft 2023 Partner of the Year. Although it's for non-profit, what that does show is that we're really high on governance, data control for every sector. As you can see here, we've got a number of customers across a number of systems, which are mainly Microsoft. We have made a sort of investment into the Microsoft platform, which you will see throughout the next 40 minutes or so, both internally from knowledge and development skills as well. And we can really leverage that Microsoft platform to benefit all customers of any sector. As you may know, we have offices in Manchester and Dublin with about 120 employees. That is growing. We have a real demand on Business Central time at the moment. So, that is being forever reviewed. I'll go through a couple of other things. I mean, the two key bits are at the bottom. So we're fully focused on, where possible and where right, moving customers to the cloud across all sectors. Microsoft Cloud Platform allows us to offer our customers really a utopia position. We very, very rarely say no to requirements, given what we can provide, what our partners can provide as well as part of that platform. And we really do, for those, I know there's a couple of potentially new customers on the call, but for those customers who have really been with us, you'll know that our projects focus on people, processes, and data. And that is even more prevalent in where we're at today. Really is more focus on data management, and getting those analytics out. And that's what we really focus on at Enhance. We've got all of the Microsoft sort of certifications and things like that. So we are fully behind the Microsoft platform and technologies. It wouldn't be any sort of webinar or presentation without a logo slide. These are just some of our Business Central clients at present. As you can see, we've got a mixture, large customers, small customers. We'll show very shortly how we've put in Business Central in 15 days to some customers. It's taken 300 days to other customers. But one of the biggest things that I say about this slide, we've got all these nice different things from different sectors, but you've got Enhance at the bottom left. That isn't just because it's a logo in the background of a slide template. Enhance use Business Central as well. This isn't something that we are saying our clients should use and prospects should use without using it ourselves. So, different trades, different things, different requirements. But as you can see there's a vast array of customers who, and this is only a selection of customers who are going with Enhance for Business Central and are using Business Central on a day-to-day basis. So let's have a quick look at what, from a slide point of view, what Business Central can provide. And one of the core things, if you're thinking about moving finance systems, it's not something you want to do on a regular basis. And I can say that from experience. It's costly, it's resource cost, and it's, people are resistant to change who've been using the system for 10, 20, 30 years. But one of the things that Business Central does provide, so it's a fully functional ERP system. We'll go on a future slide. I'll show the different sorts of modules that are available as standard in the system. But what Business Central is, it's fully engaged in that Microsoft Office and Microsoft platform of other products, suites of products. So it's fully seamless integration with all your common Microsoft 365 products. It works with advanced reporting tools, and seamless works with everything in the Power Platform. So if you are a Microsoft house and you are using Outlook, Office 365, the common programs, which I'll show when I get into the system, you really is something that you get even more benefit from. But if you're not a Microsoft house, Business Central, you do get slightly, obviously, it won't be able to go to Outlook and see customer information within Outlook without having to go into the finance system, but it is a standalone. We can link it to other other systems as well because of the open API technology. So we can deal and we can put Business Central into any customer of any sector of any size. But I go back to it, if you are a Microsoft house, it is fully integrated in technology that you will already be using through cloud-based Azure management, fully cloud-based as well. And that means because it's a fully cloud-based system, you've got the full mobile device. You can work from anywhere. I'll say it, and I might be preempting another slide that I've got, maybe not, but if you have a connection, you can work on a beach whilst you're on holiday without any loss of, if you really, really want to. You don't lose. As long as you've got any kind of connection, you can access your data, whether it's a system itself, whether it's Power BI related data for advanced analytics. It's a fully cloud-based system, fully mobile tablet device compatible. Specific apps for Business Central on the App Store and via iOS. So it is moving into that full cloud-based accessibility, allowing you to access your data and allowing users to access the data as and when they need to. But I think one of the things that we do on Business Central, which allows it to be really sort of that allows us to go out to any company of any size in any sector, is its scalability. So we've got core basic requirements. We've got a GL, we've got easy chart of account structure, we've got up to 8 dimensions, are called in Business Central for reporting analysis. They're segments. You can view records directly in Outlook and Teams if you're using Microsoft. We can control user access via role-based security, so people only see what they need to see as part of their role, and you get that integration. Automated bank statement reconciliations. Everything on here isn't add-on modules. They are part of the core solution. We just configure the modules to meet your operational requirements. Full purchase to pay, full sales order, sales quote to order to fulfillment, multi-currency, fixed assets, budget, approval workflows in the system, item inventory management. If you have a group of companies and you want to do and you need to do consolidation companies can go in that bring in partially or fully owned subsidiaries into a consolidation company for your consolidated accounting. Intercompany transaction does the eliminations. Something really, really big for construction companies and people doing project related items. Job and project costing module, timesheets, automated invoicing on delivery, open APIs for integration. We're not naive enough to think everybody goes down the Microsoft route across their whole system and across all the different products that they use within the organization. But the open APIs that are provided with Business Central allow us to integrate any data into the system from any system. I can't think of a time where we haven't been able to integrate something. If you're doing manufacturing, full manufacturing control, multi-location and stock management, bill of materials, WIP processes, and that WIP processes work on your project and job costing as well. Resource management, you can have it where you can assign resources to jobs. They have to fill in timesheets, and full service management if that's a requirement as well. So as you can see there, we can really build up based on quite often as part of the pre-sale process, we're asking you what you want from a system. Now, that sounds really great that we very rarely say no, but obviously the more you want, the more you'll be paying. So one of the things that I do always say about Business Central, this is a platform, because it's a cloud-based system and because of the fact Microsoft, you're always on the latest version. So Microsoft roll out automatic updates to the system twice a year at present without any loss of user experience and users sort of being able to go into the system. But what that allows us to do, we do not re-break, enhance do not break the code. What we do, we configure what Microsoft have given us and we extend the functionality. So that means actually as an organization, you can decide at what level you want to go with Business Central at first. There might be some areas that you really would love to have, you need to have, want to have, and actually in a utopia position you would have. And we can actually go through that and quote and build up and layer on to the system as per your requirements and how they are going to evolve. Because as I said before, you really don't want to be talking every 3-5 years about changing finance systems, because if you are, that means you didn't get the right system for you in the first place. But with that platform, we say we don't break the code. We definitely don't. If we did, we'd have to try and second guess what Microsoft were doing as part of their upgrade routine. But what we do is extend functionality. Where we believe there's a gap, we extend functionality. And that is through our own IP via partner third-party extensions in some cases. So with regards to that, what we can do, and just want to run through some of the things that Enhance have done as part of our development to extend the functionality in Business Central. EFT. So as it says there, this is for payments. We create bank statement import files in your bank's format. But this is to use the payment journal functionality in Business Central to create a file in your bank's format that you can then upload directly to your bank without any intervention, without any manipulation. That also includes approvals of payment runs within the system and also has governance over anybody changing supplier bank details, which is always a great win with the auditors. We'll talk about reporting separately towards the end of the session, but we've built a Power BI reporting pack. So a plug and play pack, allowing you to query all of the core data in your system, financial data, whether that's P&Ls, whether it's sales, whether it's purchases, fixed assets, items, purchase orders, anything, jobs, anything. We've got a plug and play pack that really does give you advanced analytics on day one without having to create them from scratch. If you have recurring contracts, support contracts, recurring elements, we have a recurring contract billing module. So invoices, credit notes, renewal notifications with your customers, differing invoice profiles. So you can invoice annually, you can invoice quarterly, monthly, anything you want that automatically generates these invoices and does the revenue recognition into your accounting period as well. And finally, we have purchasing expense management. So there's different options around the purchase to pay, but we have created a separate app which keeps every user within the purchase to pay functionality actually out of Business Central. It's a separate app, cloud-based approvals via mobile phone, tablets, which you can do in Business Central, but the Business Central obviously offers users a bit more visibility over areas that you might not want them to have visibility on. But this app is purely for purchase requisitions. Once a purchase requisition or a purchase invoice approval or an expense claim, you can process them. It can be in a separate app. You don't need to license users in Business Central. More basic screen for non-financial people, and they see that, and then they can push that through. But everything then integrates seamlessly into Business Central. There's no duplicate keying. All really around understanding our customers, understanding the type of users our customers have, and where we think we can add value in extension to the core functionality. But in advance of that as well, and this is where we can really just come to you and say, right, what do you want? Because it's a cloud-based system, Microsoft App Source is where other partners, people who work with Microsoft on a daily basis, put extensions which can be used by anybody. There's no one partner approach really with regards to this. We partner now with various partners who have specialized products in some areas. An example of that, so you can browse based on your requirement. Example of that, yeah, we've got SaaS-based technology to make it easier, no single vendor approach. And there are hundreds of apps and providers for different requirements. And some of the ones that we've got that we use on a regular basis, things like OCR, optical character recognition on purchase invoices. So if you're processing anything over 300 purchase invoices a month, they can be dropped into an email inbox. The system will automatically read those invoices and push it through to the system. We've got advanced projects. So if you did resourcing on your projects, drag and drop, Outlook integration, tailored sales invoicing, project planning, all that can be done via our add-on progressors. Open banking with Yavrio, so automated bank statement feeds through Business Central. You can see your live bank balances. You can send the payments directly from BC and approve them in Business Central through your banking software. I'm just going to skip Curiosity at the moment. I'll move to Jet. So advanced reporting. If you prefer Excel-based reporting, we have Excel reports, powerful drill down, easy financial reporting at the touch of the button. You're not having to generate the reports all the time. But one specifically for the customers who I think most of them will be on this call is Mercurius IT around CIS subcontracting. So subcontractor ledgers, holds information and renewal dates, full audit trail of all the documents that have been sent, allows you to see where they are, what they're doing at a time, and links in with the other modules in Business Central so that you can really control your CIS subcontractors and have the information that you need on them to hand. So we're really looking and using what's out there as well as our own extensions to provide you as a customer your utopia position. And then we move into the reporting side of things. So I go back to it. You're putting data into a system to be able to report on that data as simply, as easily as possible across the different reporting stakeholders in your organization. And what Business Central and the sort of Microsoft solutions provide are different layers of reporting and different types, depending on where you are, what kind of user you are within the system. And yeah, we find it where the data is so easy to get out of Business Central. You don't have to be a technical whiz to get the data out of Business Central. Yes, you need some training, but actually, table structures now are so simple and are made for extracting data compared to legacy systems. So you'll see shortly within the system itself, you can filter lists. There are 500-600 standard reports in Business Central, all of which can be viewed to screen, exported to Excel, PDF, Word, scheduled in, so that you don't have to even remember to write them. It works with Excel, one-click functionality with Excel, but even further than that, we can do data connectors between, if you are an Outlook user and an Office 365 user, sorry, you can have direct connectors between Excel and Business Central to access the data. Third-party reporting tools are always available, I must say that. But what the cream of the crop on the reporting, and it's a world-leading reporting platform, is Microsoft Power BI. Dashboards, sharing information to different levels of stakeholders at whatever level they need. With once the reports are created, they can access this. It's automatically refreshing data as and when they need it, without finance having to create the reports. So you can really govern, depending on who your individual is who wants the reporting, but also on who your report stakeholder recipient is. You can really use the tools available to govern who's seeing what data and when they are seeing it. So, with that in mind, like I said, I didn't want to do death by PowerPoint. So let's get into the system itself and start looking at what Business Central looks like. So, Business Central, as a Microsoft Office 365 user, you will be able to come in and see it there as a license. It's just added with the common programs. If you're not an Office 365 user, you get a license, you'll get a link to it. So when you go into the system, you will get a detailed link. This is what a user homepage looks like. However, Business Central, and I'm only, obviously, this is an introduction to Business Central, so I need to go through this and point out the key areas. I saw most of the people on the call are finance related, so I do want to specifically focus on a couple of areas that will really allow you to see where the structure is and how we create things. But really easy to navigate, a cloud-based system. The screens here are exactly what you see on mobile and tablet devices as well. But if I wanted to, look at, if you're a multi-company, I'll go into the settings button, my settings. You've got different roles, standard roles. So if you have just a project manager, I say just a project manager, that sounds really bad, but you've got inventory managers, shipping and receiving. We've got light user licenses. We've got sales order processors. So depending on what your roles are for an organization, if I go into project manager, for example, in this, you'll see my homepage will change. So it will update based on what role and what user I am to the system. If I give that a second, that will come through. And now I've got my projects, I've got invoices, activities, what should invoices due to be created, what work in progress I've got, my different projects at the time, percent complete, what's been invoiced, project actual price to budget price, project profitability, and things like that. All around my projects, I can see my projects here, I can see what's planned, signed. So as a project manager, you can filter down on that data. But what I'm going to do is just quickly go back to Business Manager, because that gives us an overview of the whole system. So you can control who gets to see what within the system. You also have multi-companies, so you're going to have, if we go back to this, you're going to have people who might need access to one company, might need access to different types of other companies. We can build those into the system. People only get access to what they need to have access to. Regions, languages. So if language, it's fully across Microsoft accessibility. So if English isn't a user's first language, you can change it to the various languages that are in there. Screens remain the same, just wording changes. But there's a couple of things. So to navigate Business Central, if I just scroll down my homepage, every one of these tiles is drilled down. And Business Central prides itself from being 1 or 2 clicks maximum, sorry, 2 or 3 clicks maximum from a homepage to line level transactional detail. So if I wanted to look at ongoing purchases, so ongoing purchase orders, open purchase orders, I'm not going to go and run a report. I can click on the tab. The tab will open a list. The list will allow me to, if I just click on any header, it will assign it and amend it in descending order or ascending order. I've clicked twice there, and within 3 clicks, I'm in on the line level detail of this purchase order. I see how many is going to be received, what's been received so far, what's the invoice. I've got drill down functionality against that supplier, so I can see what the balance of the supplier is, what the outstanding orders are, overdue balances, payments made today. I can see all orders, all posted receipts, all history, all within here. And it is drilled down. So if I want to see the balance on the account, I can click on the balance of the account. I can click into the invoices. I can see the double entry. So now if I want to see what that purchase invoice was, again, now I'm on a different purchase invoice. Now, I've sort of gone off tangent there, but because it's a cloud-based system, it never forgets. It's continually saving. You'll see up here saying saved. So if I just click back, I'm back on that purchase order where I was before. Document management, I can add notes, I can add attachments. We can drag and drop attachments in. So you may have some backup from a purchase order. We've got workflow controls. So if I just use a global search, which will become your favorite friend in Business Central, if I just type in workflow templates, we haven't got to create workflows templates. All we have to do is configure them to be what you want them to be. So these are the standard workflow templates in the system. Purchase orders, purchase quote workflows, purchase orders, customer approvals, item approvals, sales quotes, sales invoices. We've got all these standard workflows in the system that actually, if I go into a purchase quote approval workflow template and click on that, sorry, I need to edit it. I've got all the steps, create an approval request. So all I need to do really is type in and we just need to enter your approval hierarchy. And so that means any purchase quote will go through an approval routine through the system. That can be done via Outlook, it can be done via other email providers. Everything that you've got is fully integrated within the system. Notes, attachments, everything stored, everything you do in Business Central. So if I was just going to attach a file, I always forget this is drag and drop, but if I'm putting through just an image, everything you do, even to a field level, user stamp, date stamp, timestamp. Because this is a cloud-based system, your auditing is going to become slightly different because your auditors are going to ask, right, who's accessing the system outside of your office hours? Via Business Central's changelog, you can audit who's done what to a field and time level. So gone are the days where somebody says, you ask somebody why they posted it and they say they've never done that. It's licensed by user. Users are stamped. Every transaction, every field change is stamped. So you can really audit this and determine who's doing what in the system. But I can click back. So one of the biggest things that we find from a user point of view, I could be working on a purchase order, but then a customer might ring and they want a copy of the sales invoice sending. So I'm in the purchase order and I think I don't really want to come out of that. I can use a global search, type in customers. I'm not even going to type it in correctly. I'd love to say I did that on purpose, but I didn't. It will do dynamic searching. I can go to the customer list. I can then see all my customers, balance due, sales, everything in here. And if I have a customer here, so I'm just going to open up that balance, I'm just going to find an invoice. That customer says, I've not had that, I want a copy of this invoice. Print and send, email. I don't have to download it. I don't have to put it anywhere. I can say it will find the contact in the system. Let's change that. I can put a message in saying this email has been sent as part of a webinar. And what time is it? It is 10:30. People think I do smoke and mirrors when I'm doing this, so I'll put the time in. DB. It's attached, it's sent, it's there, and I can send email. Brilliant. Get off the phone, click back again, click back again. You're back on that purchase order. Because it's cloud-based, because it's always saving your point, the last point, once a field has been tabbed through, it is so user-friendly and things like that. Now, I'll go back to it. When I'm looking at this and we're talking and that email's been sent, I can't stress enough, everything you do in the system is audited. So if I go into sent emails last 30 days, you'll see, there it is. It was 10:31 by the time it's sent. My clock and my time on here is slightly out. But you can see there, timestamp, user stamp. And if you are an Outlook user, we can go further than that. So if I go to my sent items, it replicates into Outlook as well. So many users have a shared. So if that's an invoice that you've done as part of an invoice run, a customer statement run, purchase remittances for your remittance advice, people have shared inboxes that and so groups that they have the transactions coming from through the system. They will all be in here. We actually had a customer yesterday, a prospect yesterday, saying, does that then mean you'll get this sort of read receipts if you have that functionality turned on? Because it's coming through here, yes, you would. You'd be able to see when a customer or anybody receiving your documents has opened the document. But it also works for following round as well, just whilst I'm on this. So I can search for my Daniel Bather account. I'll just go down to an email. So you come in the morning, there's an email from danielbather@ms.com. In Outlook, I can go to the Contact Insights window. So this isn't opening Business Central. Business Central is on a separate application. Technically, I don't even need to be in Business Central. But what that will do via Outlook is search what that contact is and where that is set in the system. And it will bring up, if it finds that name, anywhere in Business Central. If it does, you will have a window here. I've got, obviously, a manned DEM system. So really, in reality, you're only going to have an email address assigned to one of your customers. But I can come into here, I can click on, if I'm to that supplier or customer, that would automatically default, but you get the statistics. And again, I've got the same level of drill down. I can see what the accounts payable is. I can see all the documents. I can add notes directly from here, even if I'm not in Business Central. You're getting that accessibility. Well, if I scroll down the homepage, you've got a lot of information. We've got insights. We've got all the top 10 customers by sales value, but I can move to the next chart, sales trends, next chart. And these are standard top 5 customers by sales value. And you can determine what you want. Cash cycles, if there was any cash cycle in cash flow. You've got all the charts here that we need, want, income and expense. There's nothing in for this month. But I've got my favorite chart account codes. I've got trial balances. I can drill down on trial balances as well. So I don't have to go and hunt for this information. But there's a couple of things I just want to fly through. Chart of accounts. The chart of accounts in Business Central is so flexible. Don't think about how you slice and dice your information. Your chart of accounts in Business Central, you just need to think about your annual statements. So if I look at a salary account, I always go to salaries. It triggers people's. You have to assign it income statement, a balance sheet. You have to assign it one of the 6 traditional financial categories. Your subcategories are, you think about how you report in your annual financial statements. Most organizations have staff costs, and then when they drill down, there's a note to the accounts. You've got pension costs, you've got staff salary costs, NIC. So what we can do is build into the chart of accounts in Business Central the different ways and your annual statement layout, really. Audit accountancy fees, these are all the expense accounts. And you can see we've got different account codes going into these subcategories. So we can actually, what it allows us to do is bring in the chart of accounts, and we move customers from thousands of chart of account calls to actually a smaller chart of accounts in Business Central. Because the way that you slice and dice your information is actually through what we call dimensions. And you can have up to 8 dimensions here. Most people have department, a cost center. So one of the 8 could be cost center, and then you've got unlimited cost centers. You can have up to 2,000. Actually, I say unlimited, it's up to 2,000 dimension values, they call. And this is how you slice and dice the information. So at line level, if I go back to my purchase order that I was looking at before, just click sort that by descending, you'll see these are my dimensions, but I can tag at line level. I've got my item, that could be a GL account. It doesn't really matter. I can type in a comment, I can do fixed assets, it could be a resource. If I go to a GL account, it's not going to let me because I've got it as release. Let me just go into another one that hasn't gone through a nice workflow process. I went to this. So I could add a GL account. I can say it's for, I don't know, stationery. I don't need to know the number. It searches on name. Now that's put in default dimensions, because you can default dimensions against a GL account. You can default them against a supplier to make processing easier. But if I wanted to put in a different code, they're all there. So I can tag at line level. But what these dimensions do is allow you to get really quite clever on how you want to analyze your data without touching the chart of accounts. I'm going to show shortly the reporting. But what we can do is also, you can add a line here. You can code against projects. So I can go into a project code. I can code against a task in a project. That might be just against the building work. And I'll put that through for 10, I don't know, 800. I'm just going to save that. As you can see, it's saving all the time. I'm just going to leave that as is. Because I do think, part of what I want to just quickly show at is the job and project module. So if I go to projects, you can create your projects in the system as standard. I've got some demo projects in there, but let me go into one. Your projects need to have project lines. Your project lines have start date, end dates, budgeting, so we can budget the cost. You can assign your project manager. You can have different things, your customers, any references, anything that you want. You can add, if I wanted to edit these and add different, I wanted to add another line, I can go in here, say, right, okay, that's line number 5, and that is summary, right up. And it puts it there. And then I can start, if I go to this line, I can edit the line. We can start saying, right, well, actually, against that, I want that to be budget and billable. I want it to start on this date. Is it going to be a resource? Is somebody going to do that? Do I want it against a GL account? Do I want it against an item? I could put it against a GL account. Maybe I put that against, I don't know, merchandise. I'm just sort of making things up here. And actually, that's all billable. So I can say, right, the total price of that is 25,000. Once done. I have to put a quantity in now. There we go. And that comes with a line amount. Now, against that job task, now I've got the billable amount. I've got summaries of these. I can see at any time what the resource budgeted cost is, what the item cost, what the actual cost is. So if I go to the resource, that is a job journal, a timesheet job journal back from April, where it shows how many hours has been worked on that job, because my resource has a unit cost of this. We can do full job accounting profitability through the system as standard. And again, this works with subcontractor ledgers, it works with your own employees. You can have milestone billing, you can have different phases. You can manage all of your projects. You can have WIP, so if you wanted it to be where you recognize revenue based on a percentage of completion, we can build all this logic into the system. It's all fully integrated. And we can report, project line, suggested billing, project to actual, look at projected billing report. I can preview. I don't think that'll bring anything up actually, but let's have a look. That's going to go through that project and is going to bring in the billing where we think it should be billed, suggested billing, what should be billed now. And that's just for one project. You can do that as an overall thing. Fully comprehensive system. Can't stress it enough. So comprehensive. So whether it's project, whether it's fixed assets, whether it's your subcontractor ledgers, whether it's your suppliers, customers, bank accounts, project management, everything that you need can be covered in Business Central. But we're only doing it to get data out. And I'm just going to concentrate on a couple of financial reports here. If I use a global search, well, just one other thing. What you'll find, I'm just going to go into the purchase order screen again. I always like using purchase orders so people relate to a purchase order. In Business Central, I said the tell me magnifying glass will be your favorite friend. Your second favorite friend will be the cycle. And you'll see it on any list page and any data entry page. So I can click on that and I've got the ability to open that table in Excel, or I have the ability to edit in Excel, which will allow me. So if I go back to my dimension table, again, love to say I spelled that wrong, but I didn't. So I've got campaigns, events, funds, projects, departments. If I wanted to create, if I go to dimension values, I've got this wonderful edit in Excel here. If I wanted to create a whole new raft of new departments in the system, if I go to enable editing, and again, this is something where you have to be an Office 365 user, but you create that data connector. So I can come in now and I can say, okay, I'm just going to copy them lines down and I'll call that cell 1. That'll be cell 2 and cell 3. Delete that. So I can do bulk updates. So if I call that sales 1, copy that down, just copy them into there. If I was doing that for any volume, I can click publish. Within a second, that's done. If I just come out of that, come out departments, go back into it, they're there. So that means mass updates, your customer listing, if you change all your payment details, payment terms, you don't have to come to us to do that. It can be done via you with the right user roles and permissions very, very quickly indeed. That Excel functionality, the sort of that collaboration across other Microsoft tools is very, very key. We'll go on to reporting. So I'm going to use my global search. I'm just going to type in trial balance. There are 17 standard reports that relate to trial balance alone in the system. By period, customer balances, previous year, bank accounts, trial balance in Excel, all this sort of stuff. But I'm just going to go to the main TB. I can put date filters in. So if I say 01, 2020, if I want to look at a TB over a large period of time, I can filter by any field on the requirement. I can filter by any field on the GL account data. There's no limitation. You get full management of what you want to be able to do. I can preview the screen. And please, the layout is a standard layout. We can configure layouts for you, show you how to configure layouts. But I get my TB there extremely quickly with the current period and the balance after that. But what I can also do, you've got this send to. So I can send to PDF, XML, Word, Excel document data and layout, Excel document data only. or I can schedule reports. So imagine your accounts receivable, accounts payable reports. I can schedule those in to run in an Excel format on a monthly basis. And believe it or not, more customers do this than I ever thought they would on the first of every month at 1 minute into the day. Okay. That report's been scheduled and it'll report in your reporting inbox. Your reporting inbox on your homepage is down here. So I've got one that I wrote into there and stopped it after a time. But this shows, and you can have your retrospective PLs, and you can see it there now. That's the next time that's going to run. 1st of August. It should be 1st of July, so I need to double check why. But you can see there, that's there. Earliest start date is the 1st of July, job queue. But that means I can go and retrospectively open any that will open it in a financial report. Ask for that in PDF, and let's just have a quick look at that. It's an income statement in a summary format in PDF. So quick, so simple, and I've not had to remember to run that. It's done. We've got other options. So, I've got my reports here, financial statements, statement of cash flows. That was really difficult to do, and I'm just sort of picking random reports here. And I'll put that again for a period of time. Preview and close. You get the same options to send it, all based on the configuration, the setup of the chart of accounts and where you want things pushing to. And you've got your cash flow statements based on whatever period you want. You've got Excel reports. And what this does, this is actually more than just an Excel report. So if I go into an aged accounts payable in Excel, it'll open it here. Now I've just realized let me see if it works. It might work on, no, it doesn't. Okay, our IT team at Amans have put a block on me downloading things. I think it's part of my role. This is why it's a live demo, so I just need to do an extra step and unblock. So if I open up that file, click enable contact, what that does is create the data connector. It pulls the data from the company I'm in and puts it into the accounts payable report. Brilliant. I can post a lot of invoices, click refresh, click OK. Brilliant. That goes through and it will update the numbers. If I'm multi-company, I don't have to change my company in Business Central. I can go into the cog. I've got the same companies as what I was showing before. I can go into that, click OK. And that will, if I just click yes, your company name will change. More numbers will be on this. And there you go, all the details there. And that's now linking to a different company. And again, I can change from here because it recognizes I am a user due to the licensing. Again, that functionality is there if you are an Office 365 user. So you've got different levels of reports. All reports in the systems are all drilled down as a financial user as well. So I can go into a income statement, month to date, year to date. I've just got date. I'll change that by year. I'm trying to pick periods that are going to be working. I've got the current period budget, the difference. I can drill down on the numbers. I can expand the pages. I've got the export to Excel. And again, from your initial financial reports, where you can see here, I can go to the line level detail. If I wanted to look at a software report, and again, I've got, put that back here and put that for 2022. This is one of my dimension types, fund type in this system, but I can change that fund to be department. And if you look at the bottom, I've now got it department. I can see the income, I can see the different costs, I can drill down, I can see what that number was. And I go back to it, within 2 or 3 clicks, you're at line level detail, who it is, who posted it, what the double entry of the transaction is. If I scroll across, all the information, what the supplier is coming from, a supplier ledger, these are the other dimensions I've got in the system. Lots and lots of information that I can push to Excel if it's any volume. Then we get Power BI. And Power BI is a cream on the crop of this, because what Power BI allows you to do is, if I just close down Business Central on there, Power BI connects to the source data but visualizes data more. So you can have, if I look at customer turnover, I can have customer turnover reports, what the customers are spending with us when. I can see by maps, when this loads very shortly, where our customer base are, where they're spending money with us. I can see my turnover. I can see income analysis in graph and visual format. I can show the transaction detail. I've got, income statement monthly, depending on what I want to see. That's down for 2022. Got different periods on here, but you can see staff costs, the numbers are changing. I can really have it where I see what I need to see. I can filter by your departments. If I take my department off, that's probably why it wasn't showing the numbers. I've seen budget, my actuals, my variances, all that in the system. Inventory reports, budget, the actual budget, variance, prior year variance, year to date. All this information can be done in Power BI, and all can be filtered from. So if I want to look at administration, you'll see the numbers changing. I don't have to keep rerunning the report. So actually you can have these reports, set different visuals, and then you can start creating dashboards from the different reports. Share these dashboards with individuals that you just want to have summary data going to those individuals. So you've got every tool within the Microsoft platform, by using the structure of Power BI, will allow you to get the data to your reporting stakeholders in whatever level you as an organization feel comfortable. And that's both up and down the organization as well. People do get blinded by numbers, so different visual representations of information, summary P&Ls, where your customers are, bank account balances, live bank account balances in a dashboard for people to look at without them needing to come to your finance team for that, because this is connecting to the live data, or without somebody in your finance team having to even start creating the report. Once they are done and shared with individuals, it's not emailed around. These are accessible via the mobile, via the tablet app, whatever you want. You can really control who gets to see what and at what frequency individuals get to see that data, which is a really, really powerful tool in a modern financial and organizational requirement around accessibility of data. I know that's very, very quick. We can, our demos on Business Central can range between an hour and full days of job, depending on the sort of requirements of an organization. But I wanted to just show how easy it is, the structure, and just really, getting data out of the system and getting data into the system is so simple. A couple of quick slides on our implementation approach. We have 14 ERP consultants, all of which, some are technical, some are functional, but we can guide you through the install. We understand it's a big change. However, we can really go through the areas. We do discovery, we do the config and build, we give full training, we go through a user acceptance testing process, and then we go live. All of our consultants in our ERP team are fully certified as well. So you are getting the cream of people who can put Business Central into an organization. And what we do, we've got people who are skilled in some areas of Business Central, especially sort of the project side of it. All of our consultants are skilled in the core financials, but as part of what you need as per your requirements, a lead consultant who has vast experience in the areas that you need will be assigned. Project management. We deliver our projects in the fact that it's your data. At the end of our delivery, you guys should be able to manage your data as much as possible. And that's one of the advantages of moving to a cloud-based system. You get more accessibility over your own data, which is a powerful statement. But again, I'll go back to it. Quotes are built up by a module. There is no need to implement on a big bang approach. Some customers want to do, and that becomes a beast of a project, not just cost-wise, but also resource from the customer point. But because this is a platform, because we just extend functionality, we can build our quotes up. We can really go to that granular level of what do you want, what do you need it to do, where do you want to be in a period of time, and we can build up and work as a partner with you with this system. It's very, very early in its life cycle, is Business Central. We're about 5 years in. So this is something that's only going to grow and grow with functionality. And that's it. I mean, I appreciate that is whistle start. It is an introduction. I just wanted to show the sort of core product and really show the benefits of what it can bring. But there's a couple of key takeaways from the session, and one of those is implementing Business Central, as it says there. It's a bit more than an implementation of just a standalone finance system. It's a platform. So it can be flexible as your organizational flexible requirements change over a period of time. As part of it, you're always on the latest version, so your upgrade costs disappear. They are part of the per user per price subscription to Business Central. You're always benefiting from latest technologies and enhancements. So Microsoft are bringing in AI into the system around bank reconciliation. If you keep doing something manually, it will propose every time to do that automatically. You've just got to click yes or no. All that technology is there, and that's just very, very early in its life cycle. Is the AI and Copilot is called in Microsoft. Fully cloud-based, I say there. If you really want to, you can work from a beach when you're on holiday. But we're not naive. We know there's a cost, and that's where we as an organization can really help you in making sure that ROI and payback for that cost comes quickly. We understand the product, we understand Microsoft technology, we understand requirements, so we don't overburden you with a number of modules that you don't need for your organization. We can make that payback really, really quick. And as it says there, well, we're a Microsoft house. We propose. Microsoft have given us a number of tools, and our partners around the world have given us a number of extensions. So what we do, we don't just look at what your finance is. We also talk about your business processes and things like that. So we're always taking into consideration your business needs, not just from your finance team, which is a strong statement as well. I hope that's been beneficial. I hope you've seen things that you like, and if so, please do speak. I know Sue's been in the background, but please do speak to Sue Cross. I know a number of you will have spoken to her already. If you don't know Sue, speak to your account manager. We're more than happy to do more detailed demos tailored to your individual requirements. That's what I'm here for. That's what our sales and Sue is here for as well, to make sure that you understand the benefits of what Business Central can bring. Just to finish off, obviously, please visit our website. My contact email address is there as well if you want to speak to me directly. I am in a sales function, but I will say, away from sales, I'm more than happy to have a finance person to finance person conversation, a finance person to IT conversation with you about it. It's all very good, it's all very beneficial, and it's all very future thinking. So hopefully that's been of benefit to everybody. Thank you for bearing with us for the full hour. Any questions that are in the Q&A, I will come back to you on at some point, either today or tomorrow. But thank you for your time, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you very much.